Welcome to the channel. Today's drive is in the Ribble Valley, Forest Bowland and North Yorkshire. Along the way I'll be stopping to do some photography and some videoing. The drive is in two parts. Part 1 starts in Waddington in the Ribble Valley. Here is the first part of the route. Waddington is a small village 2 miles northwest of Clitheroe in the Ribble Valley, Lancashire. It is home to both an Anglican church and a Methodist church. Also within the village there are 3 popular pubs and a post office. The village is a regular winner of the Lancashire Best Kept Village Award. I'm looking across at the Waddington Methodist Church with the fantastic weather vane on the top. A little bit of water in the Bowland brook. This is a very lovely sun trap by the brook. And that's a bridge across the brook. Now I'm going to walk up to the village centre or square. A weather vane on top of one of the almshouses. This is the entrance to the almshouses. Carved in the stoneworks above the gate is the inscription. Those are the initials of the founder of the almshouses, Robert Parker. The houses are built along 3 sides of the green, with an opening at the top of the green for the chapel and community hall. This is the chapel and community hall. This is a view looking up the path to the chapel. Looking at the almshouses on the right hand side of the green. A view looking down the path to the entrance gates. I've left the almshouses and I'm now going to take a further walk around the village. That's a view looking across at the Methodist Church. These are interesting signs, someone with a good sense of humour. There are some very interesting artifacts along this road. Old-fashioned set of weighing scales converted into a flower display. Interesting sign again on this bench. Post box. Converted water pump. This is one of the 3 pubs in the village, the Higher Buck. Memorial there to a soldier of the 17th Battalion, Manchester Regiment. He was a company sergeant major, died aged 27 from wounds on the 8th of January 1918, buried in St Helens, Waddington graveyard. A finger post there, Clitheroe, Newton, Trough of Bowland. The village has won this award on several occasions. A potential borrower of a book from the roadside library. A lot of redundant telephone boxes have been converted into housing defibrillators. Springtime will be the time to come and see the flowers in bloom. This is the second of the 3 pubs. It's the W.A. Arms. Very nice octagonal greenhouse there. This is the old Smithy Cottage. That's the fine shape of the tree. This is the parish church of St Helena, Waddington. The church dates from about the 1500s, but only the tower remains from that time. I'm making my way around to this splendid lich gate. Near the northern end of the churchyard is an old set of village stocks used to punish miscreants. The red rose flag of Lancashire and the Union Jack are flying at the third of the pubs in Waddington, the Lower Buck Inn. The building in view, which is going under some renovations, is Waddington Old Hall. I'll be telling you a little bit of its history later on. I made my way to Coronation Gardens. This public garden on the banks of the Waddington Brook was laid out in 1953 to commemorate Queen Elizabeth II's coronation. The award-winning gardens occupies land that once formed part of the Old Hall estate. The centrepiece of the garden is a rustic bridge installed in 2002. More awards for this very pretty village. The War Memorial. Through the gates and down to the stepping stones which forms part of the footpath across Waddington Brook. Opposite the Coronation Gardens is Old Hall, Waddington. Waddington's main claim to fame is that King Henry VI stayed at Waddington Old Hall in 1464 whilst hiding from his Yorkist enemies. He stayed at the hall for a year but was betrayed to his enemies. The king was just sitting down to dinner when his foes burst into the hall. He managed to escape through a secret panel and down a hidden staircase before crossing the River Ribble. Unfortunately, the king's escape was short-lived and he was captured just a few miles on the outskirts of Clitheroe. The gateway to Old Hall, Waddington is surmounted by a hand carrying a lance and battle axe, and the inscription, "I will raise up his ruins. I will build as in the days of old." This John Waddington did, with no expenses spared. This is where I end my walking tour of this pretty village, Waddington in the Ribble Valley. Leaving Waddington, the drive continues to the next destination. It's the ferry bridge, Bushell Heath, which is next to the Out Barn. I've arrived at Bushell Heath. Bushell Heath sits in the heart of an area of outstanding natural beauty, 4 miles west of Clitheroe town centre. I'm leaving the car at the Out Barn, which is a wedding venue. I'm going to walk down the lane to the Packhorse Bridge. The drive continues. The next destination is Whitewell. This is the drive-in tour of the Ribble Valley and the Forest of Bowland. Absolutely amazing scenery on this road. What a beautiful day to be out driving. The temperature outside is 20 degrees centigrade. Just coming into the next place of interest, Whitewell. Going to have a look at the church with its lich gate and the inn at Whitewell. Making my way across to the church. This is the parish church of St. Michael, Whitewell. A church has been present on this site since the Domesday Book of 1086. The church was rebuilt in 1817, 2 years after the Battle of Waterloo. It is a Grade II listed building. I'm leaving the church and making my way round to the inn at Whitewell. The inn at Whitewell is a handsome 14th century coaching inn, having all the requisite charms, mullioned windows, centuries-old stone flag flooring and a bucolic setting. Lots of famous faces are visited, including the Queen. Part of the Duchy of Lancaster estate. Founded in the 13th century, the Duchy of Lancaster is a unique portfolio of land, property and assets held in trust for the sovereign in his or her role as the Duke of Lancaster. Leaving Whitewell, I'm back in the car and driving to the next destination, which is Dunsop Bridge. Then on to Newton in Bowland. now standing on the village of Dunsop Bridge. It's a village because they do have a church, and this is it. This is a very popular tea room, the Puddle Duck tea room. Nice dahlia display. Another part of the Duchy of Lancaster estate, Dunsop Bridge Post Office. Winner of the Best Kept Village competition. Centre of the United Kingdom. Well, it's the village that's nearest to the centre of the United Kingdom. And this is a very old sign, West Riding of Yorkshire. The ridings were abolished in 1974 during the last reorganisation of local government, but local affection for both the term and the boundaries have never waned. Continuing my walk through the village, I'm now going to cross the bridge. Not a lot of water in the river at the moment. It's been particularly dry this last couple of months. Next to the bridge cottage is the Workmen's Club, the only watering hole in Dunsop Bridge. Fantastic old bridge. Like a job, that's who to contact. This magnificent single arch bridge spans the River Hodder. This is a very interesting sculpture here. Lancashire County Council has launched a love trail around Lancashire where courting couples can take in the breathtaking views as well as being dazzled by each other. Dunsop Bridge comes highly recommended by the love trail as a place where any would-be Prince Charming could pledge his undying love to the person at the centre of his universe. Around the village there are some very interesting and amusing signs. This is where I leave Dunsop Bridge. The tour of the Ribble Valley and the Forest of Bowland continues. The next stop is Newton in Bowland. just driving into the village of Newton in Bowland. Newton in Bowland is set in the heart of the Forest of Bowland, an area of outstanding natural beauty. Newton was an early centre of nonconformist religion. There is also an historic Quaker burial ground here. In front is the popular Parker's Arms, the village pub. The Parker's Arms takes its name from the neighbouring Parker family of Brownsholme Hall. I'm now in the village of Newton in Bowland. Very attractive village with a fine selection of stone houses. Well, that's one way to save energy. Finger post. So there it is, Newton in Bowland. Whitewell, that's where we just come from. Dunsop Bridge as well, we've just come from there. And the next destination is going to be Sladeburn. Fine selection of flowers in the front garden. This is Newton in Bowland. I think this village deserves a prize. It's very pretty. Not sure what this church is called. Well, it's a congregational chapel building, and looks like it could be 1887. At each junction in this village there's a finger post. Another commemoration to Queen Elizabeth's Jubilee. The old reading room. I guess it was before this was changed into a private residence. This is where I end part one of this drive in the forests of Bowland and the Ribble Valley. Join me again for part two.